We're ready. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. I've got the question. I already know the question. First of all, you're awesome, and we're just gonna like naturally talk, and then I use it to cut little things up with, and I also do the full episodes on YouTube. So I'm just gonna do an intro so I can cut into it. But
yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saving Humanity podcast. I'm here with someone awesome who I'm so excited to just be in the energy wave and interview. And in January, Walker, you're awesome. And I can already know it. And so much to talk about. And you're motivating for me, too, just with what I'm doing on my campaign. And I saw some clippets of you. I saw your name on the voter registration. And I was like, who is this January? And then I started looking you up, and then I saw your interviews, and I was like, great mind, you know. She has such a high IQ, and
Yeah.
I'm serious. I saw it instantly. I was like, I got to get in her sphere of wave to like learn, and not like selfishly, like we can share and collaborate. Obviously, you're on the podcast, but just like, you know, I love learning, I love sharing, and I love meeting people, and it's just awesome. And what stuck out to me, honestly, was just like how alive you are, how passionate you are. Why do you keep running for Congress? Why are you here? Why do you're on the Utah Forward Party now? And
Yes. This was an endeavor that started in 2021, 22,
Okay.
bringing the Forward Party to Utah, gaining the attention of national, and it's been great to see that move forward. But why do I keep running for Congress? I actually quit politics. I didn't think I was coming back.
Okay.
And then I was summoned back by a child that cried about the Great Salt Lake.
Really?
Yeah. And it really just woke me up. It's, you know, because you run a few times and then you get hurt and you're like, forget it. I'm done here. But that child crying just pulled me off the sideline and said, figure it out, whatever this problem is. And I promised her that I wouldn't let the Great Salt Lake die.
Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about that. So I've got something to because I know that's a passionate point for you. And your energy wave is so unique. Have you always sort of been a different kind of thinker or seen things differently? Is this something you've developed over the years, or what do you credit your sort of creativity or your vision to?
Describe the wave that you're experiencing.
Because
you're very in tune.
Yeah. Well,
right? Like you, in neuroscience, you can start to see where people are at, and you are very in tune, and you're very aware, and you have this ease about you. So you've been on a journey as well, I can tell. So when you describe this for people that may not know, like, let's give them a little bit of texture to the conversation.
So I would say just the fact that you want to solve problems, the fact that you have like, I saw your way to like track like money being spent in government, which is like use, you know, a form of, you know, a technology to do it. And I'll let you elaborate more on it.
Yeah.
And then also like this Great Salt Lake, how you think we can fix the elections. I've also just seen like I saw some of your speeches or debates that you did, and like it just seems like you definitely are an out of the box thinker, and you're here because you have a good energy. Like I picked up on how you engage with people, and that's what I like. I think your last word that you said in the 2022 debate when Burgess Owens didn't even show up was like, it was like, have a good one or something like that. And, you know, as someone who loves people and just shares freely and talks to people, I resonate with that. Like I could see like, man, that's a person who cares, because you're not trying to, you're just sharing, you're just flowing, but you have such a unique energy wave that you sort of see the world through, I think. And I think you're very intelligent, but have you always kind of thought that way? Or is this like, as you've evolved, you just be like, okay, I'm just going to let go and just follow my intuition and just explore and sort of create? Or how did this come about?
Yeah, I thought everybody was like me. I genuinely did. And then probably about last year, I realized they weren't.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, whoa, you guys thought what this whole time, or you were doing what, or you saw this and you didn't realize. And so I would say that I've always been a little bit different. I attributed that to, being outdoorsy or, just having different interest over other people. And now I've come around to see that, no, I just do think differently. And then as you have different experiences with people, you start to hone your craft. And really what's changed in me is having access to knowledge and to education, and then accepting myself. And, if I wanted to make a decision, I did that.
Right.
And then if it wasn't the right decision, working through the moral injury that comes with that. And I think that humanity has a massive moral injury coming towards us. And we've been resisting it for a long time. It actually has to do with that technology that you brought up. So we designed our technology wrong. And we're going to have to redo all of it.
And what do you think, like how are we in the process of redoing it? And like in layman's terms, what kind of went wrong and what can we do better to improve it?
I think we didn't math the first time. Okay. We didn't know what the math was that we were creating, and we charged forward with war technologies instead of peace technologies. And now that we have math, we're advancing our mathematics. We're at a point where it's like you can't even deny that we have this math and these physics anymore.
Okay.
So we now need to do an information campaign for everybody and bring everybody along. And the best part is it saves the Great Salt Lake.
Okay, and can you talk about what is your plan to? This is January Walker. She's running on the forward ticket. Okay, in the first district. So it's a centrist party, but January Walker forward party. What is your plan to save the Great Salt Lake?
Yeah, there's a few different issues facing the Great Salt Lake, and the first question when I go and I knock doors, because we're just knocking every single door. I don't know if you know, out in Salt Lake frequently we just have no water all over, and that's been really scary. So for saving the Great Salt Lake, there's a few different issues facing us. The first one is that we don't have water getting to the Salt Lake in the first place. Did you know this?
Okay.
Were you aware that the water wasn't getting there?
I know there's a lot to do about it, and I know there's a lot of politics being talked about it, and also people. But please give me and everyone just your view in the next, if you can, within a 4 or 5 minute frame. But your view, why it's the way it is, what's causing it, and then how you would process it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Optimize it.
So the first thing is we're not getting water into the Salt Lake, and the Salt Lake is a public good. If you talk to the Great Salt Lake Commissioner, he always talks about this. The people that are over water rights talk about this. But the Great Salt Lake was never given water rights in the first place. And because it wasn't given water rights, everybody is just going in and saying, well, I have water rights here. This is mine, and taking from it. And then in 91, there was I'm going to call it a water grab. Because we had so much water that year, everything was flooding, and then these individuals came in and they said, "We want to have this water. We'll take care of it. We'll take it off your hands." Okay. And that's this Bear River area.
Got it.
And so with the Bear River, it's like 550,000 acre feet a year is what they take. And the other ones are about 350 coming from Utah Lake, and there's some other ones. And then people are also digging into the ground for waters. So there's a lot of ledgers here. And when we talk about Congress, we are talking about a full-on ledger. So also in the Great Salt Lake Act, it talks about a quantum Congress, so that we're not just accounting for monetary stuff, but we're accounting for our full wealth budget in there. Now, with the water, because it's being throttled before it ever reaches there, it's the question is where is the water going? Okay. And we have an invasive Iranian species called alfalfa. And if I didn't say that properly, I'm so sorry. Is that how you say it, alfalfa?
I think that's how you say it. Yeah, I think I've heard that.
Yeah.
And it's from Iran?
Yeah, so it's from Iran. It's not local. And that's taking 60 to 80% of our water.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did it get here?
People just thought that it would be a great export. Feeding cattle is what they say that it's used for, but we have natural crops. So one of them that won the World Food Prize, actually out of Salt Lake here, was Indian rice grass. And that one, you take it, you replace it. I mean, it takes a couple of years to fully get it going, but it feeds, it's enough to feed everything here and not take all the water. And then from there, we export most of that crop. So they call it like a virtual crop or virtual water at that point, because it goes into the crop. And then we export it into China because they have started to eat meat so much.
Got it.
Yeah. And then once that's gone, you essentially exported your water. You don't have enough coming in. That's taking up a bunch. And then we have 40 to 60% of our own food, our own meat, going onto the shelves using that water and then going to waste shortly after. So that's wasting our water as well. And that's just not helpful. So that's the first piece of it. The second piece of it is in our machines. So we have this is brand new. Like, people really don't understand this. But we've known since 1961 that our byte, okay, so like the IBM byte 1s and 0s, 8-bit systems, run really hot. And this guy named Landauer, he showed that it's supposed to run down here. And it's running all the way up here. It's like billions of times over in heat and energy and what it's supposed to use. And if you align this, and we have the minerals here right in Salt Lake. So this is iron and nickel. And it's called nano RAM, or magnetic RAM. So you bring it down here.
Got it.
And all of a sudden it doesn't use water anymore. So the data centers don't need water anymore. I mean, that alone, it's not using heat, it's not using energy. You don't need nuclear anymore. It's all gone. Like, there's no demand. And then not building nuclear on a fault line would probably be smart. They're trying to turn on their first one on July 4th. And that's pretty much the main issues right there facing our Great Salt Lake.
Okay. I'm going to give a little perspective here.
Please do.
I think the problem that we have with any environmental crisis is, especially when it's not private property, is that no one protects it. Like, it's the tragedy of the commons, which is whenever something's shared, no one protects it. If even the ocean was privatized, if the Great Salt Lake, if you could own acres of the water, people would regulate it themselves and actually care for it way more. And then you could have property disputes, because if you actually pollute somebody else's side of the water, then you could sue them. And it would be a lot more judicial than what we have now, which is where companies can bribe basically the government to do what they want. And so the problem with a lot of our like what we think is pollution is we need to privatize it. The government just, when people don't have incentive to protect things and build things, it's like in the Soviet Union when, like, there were the pigs that the state owned, or in China especially, there were pigs that the government owned, and then they would give a few pigs to families, and then the pigs that the families owned were always much better taken care of, much healthier, and much bigger. That's our issue here, is that we have to privatize every piece of land in the United States as much as we can, and then that would allow us to actually take care of things and flourish.
And privatization, when you think of that, is that decentralized?
Yeah. We have because no one, like, we should be able to own the ocean, and then we can build in that spot. We can, you could have a judge, how much do you own? It's like the air above you. Do you own 10 feet above your house? You don't own 1,000 feet. How much do you? So you would have a role for some sort of government to sort of figure out how much of that do you own. But I think you have to start there. We have to start with privatizing as much as public land as we possibly can, because that's the only way it'll be taken care of. Otherwise, it's the tragedy of the commons. People just tear it up, break it, and then whoever has the most political influence, they'll just dominate over all of it. So,
yeah, that's really interesting because.
Well, thank you.
And you're libertarian, is what you
yeah.
ran under.
Yeah.
I find so. You mentioned Ford is a centrist party, and
well, that's what they said. I looked you up, and it said Ford, but I'm sure if you want to elaborate more, feel free. And by the way, I don't like the people I have on here. I've had so many different people. Most of my friends, they're half of them are probably to the left, maybe a little more than half. or at least right there. So like it matters none on this. This is a self-development podcast and just friends. So
Yeah.
I'm not like I love people, and that's what I operate out of. The libertarianism and the things I'm running on, as I'm sure you can relate to, are just within that sphere of loving people. Therefore, within my sphere of influence, I'm trying to positively affect as much as I can. But it's not something that I really don't even look at the world through the lens of libertarianism unless it's a policy issue or something like that.
Yeah.
Or if someone asks my opinion, or if I'm on a podcast giving my opinion. But
libertarianism is so broad
Mm-hmm.
too. Just like, centrist, left is so broad, right is so broad.
Right.
I mean, it's very interesting. And so, my big thing was we're all a shade of purple
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. And so I would call Forward Party an everybody party.
Okay.
And the goal here is to break free of the harms and hurts that have held us back before, and to give us a path. I would almost call it like some type of redemption for humanity, to give us a path to move forward so that we're not stuck in the old ways that were handed to us and that appeared to be tied directly to the atomics.
Mm-hmm. And when you say atomics, you mean like the atom and how that's because it's going to destroy the like we have the merchants of death, and that's where all of our technology is derived from, is some sort of war. But that, would you say from an evolutionary perspective, like the reason we're here now is because we're basically hairless murder apes that were fighting for the resources, and we're the ones who won. We're the descendants of those people who were fighting for the resources and who were able to use community and communication and our brain to like strategically map out a way to survive and neutralize all threats. And it's a very interesting thing. It's like, I agree with you. I know exactly what you're saying. And I think we would agree on a lot, like philosophically and politically too, but like also like from a bigger picture perspective, it's like it helped us evolve to this level because we're just hairless murder apes,
Hairless murder apes. If there's anything that I believe in, it's humanity,
Mm-hmm.
and that we are not murderers. That's not.
Would you say our like because of our human evolution, of like we were some sort of little amoeba cell, and then we became like a little fish, and I'm simplifying this obviously, and then we were some little lizard, and then we were like a lizard with a backbone, and then we were primates, and then humans. It's like throughout our evolutionary process, it's
Mm-hmm.
just constant, like, because even in the wild now, it's like there's a host and there's like a parasite, and it's like a constant, like everything is taking. So it's like our DNA is rooted in survival, and so I believe in the non-aggression principle, which is if someone's not harming you, you should not harm them. Same for our government. So I believe in like complete like the non-aggression principle, because we're evolved now. We have a higher state of consciousness of which we can operate out of. However, like our DNA, how we got here, was just through like this constant like natural selection of just trying to survive, I guess you'd say, and carry our DNA on to the next.
Yeah. Well, I can certainly understand that because I have a wide family history of resilience, right?
Yeah,
and
I believe it.
if you've been
Yeah.
here a long time, I'm sure that you have the same. No,
I'm from Mobile, Alabama, so I've lived here.
Alabama.
I've lived here 3.5 years, and
well, welcome.
well, thank you. Yeah. No, I love the culture here. I love the people. It's the smartest people in the country are here in Utah, without a doubt. Like, people don't believe that, but the highest IQ, because it was like it took a lot for them to come here and form this area and be able to make it. And so it's the highest IQ place I've ever been.
It's
it's
highly intelligent.
like homogeneous population.
Yeah.
Highly intelligent, it is, correct.
Yes.
And you are too. So
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So walkers have been here a long time. We
Mhm.
have that Walker Tower downtown. We're 8th generation. We were the kids that the founder of the LDS Church adopted.
Really?
Yeah, and so we have a long-standing history with this. And
Wow.
you asked me about humanity and
Yeah.
life and stuff, and I've come to observe the more that I learn to read mathematics and
Okay.
what the mathematics and physics of the universe says.
Yes.
I've come to observe that our purpose here is really the universe figuring itself out.
Okay.
It's hard to say exactly what happened to us, but
Okay.
something happened.
Okay.
And when that happened, everything started to be chaos. Like all of these waves started to ripple everywhere.
Okay.
And, like one of the things that I've started to do is to not eat meat, like to
Okay.
move away from meat.
Okay.
And what you intake into your body, it changes your mind
Yeah.
at the same time.
Sure.
And so you said that, murderous hairless apes, it's really, if you moved away from that, what would you be left with?
Mm-hmm.
And that starts to change you. And so the other thing that you mentioned is the timeline of humanity, how we go through and we evolve.
Yeah.
What we find is that we're not like linear.
Sure.
We're multidimensional. So everything kind of moves at the same time. Like time is a very interesting place where it's not just one timeline. It actually moves through a bunch of different areas. And so when I look at the math, because there's a seam between prime numbers, we're very numerical beings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everything can map to a number of what we are. And with these numbers, there's a seam, and it looks like something just ripped through these numbers.
Huh.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
And I know that that's like very broad.
I love it. I love your mind. I love how you think, and it's a beautiful thing. And we don't have to. Yeah, there's so much there. It's hard to understand what one person even. You have to go in depth with someone to really understand their, maybe to the degree of which they would want you to understand it. But do you ever feel overwhelmed trying to solve such big problems? I know you have the Great Salt Lake. I know you've talked about cancer, curing cancer. Do you ever feel overwhelmed, or what energizes you to sort of be that way?
Well, there's nobody else coming to save us.
Right.
So if it's me, if I'm the one that's leading humanity,
Mm-hmm.
then the type of humanity that I want is one of world peace. Genuinely, I want us to have. I would love it today.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for everything that's happening in the Middle East and around the world, and all the homeless and everything, to just be taken care of today. And so, you asked specifically what keeps me going. Did I get that question right?
Yeah, like do you feel overwhelmed, or sort of what gives you the
Do I feel
energy?
overwhelmed?
What gives you the energy to like shoot at a target and just pursue it full on, and big targets and so forth?
It's the way I was made.
Okay.
So I can't stop it.
Okay.
And I really want to bring back that snow. There would be no January without snow, and our snow is disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's fate, maybe it's genetics, maybe it's stubbornness.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of greatness here for humanity. Like we came out of a dark time. Let's do better. And that's actually why I accepted your invitation to come on here, because of the name of your podcast, Saving Humanity.
Well, thank you. I try. We try to. I mean, we're going to have hopefully like creative, interesting conversations that people, but also like even a 25-second thing, which is people find that of value more than almost anything. Then maybe there's something in that someone can take, and it can positively affect their mindset, and they can carry it on and pass it on, and the energy and love we create lives on long after we do. So
yeah. Knowledge will never be held back again after this. No more gatekeeping, no more preventing people from being who they are.
Mm-hmm. There's what's something you believe that people think might be crazy?
Oh man, that's an intense question.
Okay.
What brought that question up?
Just there's got to be something. I think all people who are creative, who are visionaries and who break through, I think they run into resistance of like, oh, you can't do it this way. It's never been done this way. And so I think like, what's something that in your heart to be true?
Well, did you hear that I hypothesized a missing particle in physics?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So I came across. I was following this quantum researcher.
Okay.
I was asked to do cybersecurity for brain-computer interfaces.
Okay.
And it's like, how in the world am I supposed to do this?
Okay.
And so I had to go really deep into this new area of information physics. Okay. And this researcher, he shared a piece that said information has mass. So it's a state of matter.
Okay.
And he said that a hard drive gets heavier when you put information in it, when you flip
Got
that
it.
0 to 1. And
Got
I'm
it.
like, what do you mean it gets heavier?
Okay.
I mean, that's mind-blowing. Is that
Sure.
mind-blowing to you?
Sure.
It's mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
And so I figured out some math for it, realized that this other guy named Melvin Vopson out of Portsmouth, UK, figured it out first.
Okay.
And I'm like, perfect. And he was talking about how there's information particles.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, okay, based off of this, at this temperature right here, this is an information particle. And I called it an infoton.
Okay.
Okay. And then I, instead of exploiting it and everything, I'm like, how do I protect this infoton thing from being used in the same way that Einstein's, proton was used in the atomics?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you opened up a can of worms on this one, Tyler.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I established a company around it because companies have more rights
Right.
than anything else. And
Sure.
so did this infoton thing. And then shortly after figured out that this infoton, if you follow the mathematics through quantum physics,
Okay.
that it mapped to the mitochondria.
Okay. Yep. I saw your theory about, and I agree with you. Mitochondrial DNA seems to be like the heart of our body, and then, and I'll let you continue.
Do you think that we are mitochondria?
I don't know. I'm not. In the words of Barack Obama, when he was asked when does conception that's above my pay grade. It's a
That's above
fascinating
your
thing.
pay grade.
I love learning it. I don't know if I'm
One way or another.
thoughtful enough to even have an opinion. I know about some of the value of mitochondrial DNA, and we have to strengthen it. And I know you have a unique theory on mitochondrial DNA and sort of things of that nature.
Yeah, so I would say that it's that we're made up of information particles. That's how we know stuff is real.
Okay.
Is through this infoton.
Okay.
That if you want to say like what's your wildest piece, it's that.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that you can even think that way, like creative enough to process that. And then, so within all this, just so we can talk to people about some things, I think they would also love to.
Yeah.
You're from Utah. Like, did you have a normal childhood? What was your childhood like?
So I was born military.
Okay.
Actually, my mother was born here, and then she went and she joined the military.
Okay.
And I was born in Germany.
Okay.
So I've lived around the world, first world countries, third world countries, Europe, the United States, all across the United States.
Okay.
My parents were really adamant about exposing me to different cultures.
Are your parents still together?
Yeah.
Okay. And so
Well, yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. My mother married a man that she met in Germany.
And then your dad.
Yeah. Today's his birthday, actually.
Okay. And he's still around.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mr. Walker.
Mr.
Right.
Irvin, Ron Irvin.
Ron
Happy
Irvin.
birthday.
Okay. So, and this is your biological dad.
No,
Okay.
stepfather.
Okay. So your biological dad, do you know what country is he from Germany?
He's hanging out here around somewhere in Utah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a free man.
Okay.
Lang is. He's so free.
Okay.
He loves climbing. They write about him in climbing books. He for a long time he had dreads.
Okay.
And then
How old is he now? Is in his 60s probably, I'm sure.
They were fairly young, so like 20. So he's 56.
Okay.
And it's actually really sad because so his mother used to make parts for Boeing. She was
Okay.
haunted by math in the same way that I am.
Okay.
And she lost her life in some way.
Okay.
Like people in that industry seem to have happening to them.
Sure.
And then throughout his life, he ended up homeless for a while. And so the homeless population is really harsh because Utah is the richest, hands down, the richest state in the entire, like we are the richest region, richest state, richest everything. And there's no reason we should have homelessness. There's no reason for homelessness in our state.
So I would say, and this is a good thing to talk about, like from a policy perspective, and I understand, like I agree with you from like a philosophical standpoint, but then how do we can also map it out, like pretend that we're solving the world's problems here. I would say it's for two reasons. Number one, because the regulations to build here, the government owns so much land, the federal government owns so much land takes the land away. There's also crazy regulations to even build a house. You can't have tiny houses here. I've lived in states where you could have tiny houses.
Can you have tiny houses in Alabama?
You can have them in some parts of it, but there are towns like Texas and stuff. You can have tiny houses, and it just creates so much more opportunities for people. And so we have to get rid of the government owning land and then deregulate the codes where you can have tiny houses, or you don't have to put certain materials in to build a house. You have to follow these guidelines every time a house is built, and it makes the price go higher. And things like tariffs and things like quotas on products make it even worse.
Yeah.
And then there's the other aspect of which is someone's free will. Like, we're not all created equal. We're not going to have equal outcomes. And I don't think that you're saying this, but the fact is that we don't all share the same intelligence. I can tell you, we're all born different aptitudes, 100%. Families are born different. People are born different. No matter what, everyone in science knows we have different IQs. We have different nervous systems that make us more or less maybe active or wanting to pursue things. So, I absolutely think there are some homeless who, probably have a mental disorder or a disability that they need to get evaluated for. And then there are homeless who are drug addicts who, despite their family's best effort, have not got off drugs. And now they're homeless. But their ability to offer value in a marketplace where someone would want to be around them or to pay them for their services is nothing. So their own behavior has committed themselves to a life of being homeless. There's both there. Now, when we have improvements in technology and production, just like now, people aren't starving. Even the homeless have food. In the world of atoms, which is this, as we improve the ability to create these things, and right now we're going backwards with things like tariffs and regulations, but hopefully through technology we'll be able to produce more, and then everyone's quality of life will improve. I also think drugs being illegal are a problem because it creates a deal where the drugs are expensive. They're also highly dangerous. If we had a free market in everything and every good, then the drugs would probably give the people the same high that they're looking for without the negative effects. So a lot of our problems, including like drugs and all those things, are because the government doesn't allow for it, and the market over time hasn't been able to make drugs in a safe way that would give people the feeling without the negative consequence. So many things there, but those are like my, if we actually care about people, and if we don't care about, like in Portugal, they decriminalized all drugs. Less people have tried marijuana there than they have cocaine here. So it's like, if we care about people, we need to be free. We need to just let people, we need to let technology advance. I'm not like a libertarian because like it's like the non-aggression principle. It's like, no, dude, like I have a brain. I can see that like we have to have mass production and stuff. Every time you make it harder to build a cell phone, you have less cell phones. Every time you do that in any aspect of our life, we become poorer. We would live till we're 250 years old already now if it wasn't for the government prohibiting advances in technology. For most of human history, we didn't have private property. We had no advances.
Do you think they're that smart?
What's that?
The people that you're referring to.
And this is the government, people?
Yeah.
Like us as a humanity?
Well, yes.
No, I guess we're not because we're not here. But we will be because eventually natural selection always wins out. And so maybe it's a technology, maybe it's a hybrid, half technology, half human. But eventually the people will become more intelligent because that's the only way. Like the only way is a constant evolution of our essence. And our IQ, because that's just the way things are. And now it's with technology. Now technology is playing a factor. I think technology will edit who's born. I don't know how all the CRISPR and all that works, but eventually every baby will be born with like a 180 IQ. And it'll solve all the... When you have high IQ people, you have way less chaos. You have way less, as you say, world wars and things. Although that's, like we talked about, that's just like the natural state of probably everything is to try to take resources in some way. But we've had, the reason we had advances is when we started having private property. Until we had that, we had like the dark ages, we had no advancements. They were just as smart as we were.
And when we say we?
humanity. 300 years ago, they were actually smarter, but they didn't have as long of free markets. And because free markets build on each other, there's exponential growth. That's why you've had technology. So if we would have had free markets longer period, we would already be living 200 or 300 years old. We'd already be so much more advanced, but we haven't had enough opportunity for free markets. The IQ of the human race was going up and up and up until the Industrial Revolution, and now it's going down because of mass production of food. But like those guys who pioneered Utah, but also like founded our country, they were more intelligent, men and women, but because it's all the same genetic. So the reason a lot of our ills are we haven't had free markets, we haven't had capitalism, but from a bigger perspective, humanity had to get smarter. The kings had so many children in 1,000 years ago that finally all those kids were pushed into the middle class, and then they were like, hey, we don't want to be peasants anymore. You know about all that.
I mean, I feel like right now we're being treated as
peasants. We are 100%.
I mean, the kings of the past would love the way that we've set up everything today.
I don't disagree. I think we still are. We're still under a tyrannical government, and we still have, we're not evolved for sure. Like where we're going. I mean, people think they're free. They're really not. But with technology, we have more access. We have more ability to learn and grow, and maybe in theory, spread it a little bit better. It's not going to be in our lifetime for sure.
Oh, it's here already.
Freedom? You think pure freedom? Like I'm saying like the ultimate, like I feel like we're still going to be under like tyranny in like 20 years.
No.
Okay.
If we, sorry, that
Go
was
ahead.
very firm no.
That's fine.
You and I here, Tyler,
Mm-hmm.
we're at a junction. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We decide what comes next.
Okay.
From this conversation with your listeners here.
Yeah.
This is our decision point.
Mm-hmm.
And if we here continue to say this is going to happen, or we're going to allow this, or we're going to be enslaved, then yes, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at a point where it doesn't work anymore. The universe is actually at its breaking point. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you use the Great Salt Lake as a planetary benchmark,
okay,
and they're talking about very quickly here, maybe by 2030, it not even being there anymore.
Okay.
And especially if you put everything on there. You've heard this, right?
I've heard rumblings.
Yeah. So no more of whatever it is that we've been doing. Now, I agree that we do need to upgrade our technology, mm-hmm. and in following the laws of physics, now that we have them, now mm-hmm. that we have essentially like these little pieces where it's like, oh, we can fix our volts and be more precise, and then all of a sudden we're not wasting mm-hmm. all of this energy and driving nuclear reactors, mm-hmm. and nuclear reactors is driving, 100 megawatts of thermodynamic heat per reactor anymore.
Right.
Creating, 85 degrees outside, I think is when I came in here. And
do you think that's just via, because I mean, whether global warming or the Earth is warming or not, doesn't seem like it would be that drastic even from like 50 years ago. Like it wouldn't just be. Are you sure?
Positive.
Because like I can look at like temperature like averages from 1970, and I can look at them from 2025, and they're not that much different.
It's 60 degrees warmer in Utah today than it typically is for March.
No. I've been here it's not 60 degrees. It's
3
80.
years.
Yeah, I've been here. It's not, but in 1972, the average temperature was not 20 degrees as an average in March.
So March is...
I disagree with that. I would say at most it would be like 0.04%. Now that might be a legitimate thing.
I mean, I'm used to March weather being like 30 degrees.
0.4, I should say. Well, I mean, we may have it again. We just had it the other day. It was cold. I feel like... Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I want to expand on this just a little bit. So we have this thing in Utah called the lake effect.
Okay.
And this is highly studied here. There's so much that you can read about it. Okay. And as the lake disappears and gets smaller and smaller and smaller, our snowpack gets smaller and less. So the snowpack comes in, less water comes into the lake, less drainage coming through all of our siphoning, less gets into the lake, more goes in. And it's just this vicious cycle that happens here. And as that lake effect shrinks, because the Great Salt Lake is actually the heat sink or the cooling body of the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
So if it fails, because there's no other lake anymore for all the birds and everything, we actually uphold the entire global food supply chain with that brine shrimp that's over there. So our brine shrimp ship. So the birds come in, we feed the birds. The birds take care of the crops. The crops grow. They keep the food cheap and everything. And then we also take the brine shrimp and export it to like Taiwan and all around the world. So out of Utah, we're feeding like 40% of the entire world. And as that goes away, it's actually disappearing because it's getting so hot. And when it disappears, that's why it's talking about collapse. So it goes through the Great Salt Lake and then the Colorado River Basin, and then it echoes outwards all the way down through Texas, Mexico, all the way up through Russia, Alaska, and then it will just come and engulf the planet.
Okay.
So it's actually really important that we nail this one down.
And so we've had how long to do it? So the problem...
We can fix it in 3 years.
I don't think the government can do it. It's all central planning. Whenever the government centrally plans something, it never works.
But why are we giving them the power at this point?
We have to privatize it. We have to.
But it is privatized.
No, people come and take the water, but they don't own that land. Like you may.
So they have something called water rights. So they did privatize it.
But not the physical. Not from the original standpoint. It was not. You couldn't own 20 acres of the Great Salt Lake, and then somebody else owned 20 acres. You couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like 30 years ago, they didn't have that, or 1951. Whenever these waters started to be stolen.
But before, so water rights of the West have been around before the United States was established.
Tell me about the water rights that pertain to the Great Salt Lake. What were the water rights? Because
there's like first in, first. What do they call it? First in, first.
Was that as judicial a process as you would when it comes to normal land rights? I think it's a different, more...
Water rights are almost more than land rights.
I would say crony capitalistic way, yeah, because it would be a few people can have the water rights, not the masses of people. Yeah.
So, and that the problem comes back to the Great Salt Lake never being given rights. So, with these,
it's a fascinating conversation, though.
Yeah,
it's far out though.
It's different because the way that so my background is I started off in anatomy, physiology, and biochem with a little bit of biology, and then by the end switched to business, economics, and finance, and ended my career in cybersecurity. Got it. So, when you talk about monetary stuff, I mean, we have arbitrage. Are you familiar with arbitrage?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're for our listeners, arbitrage is where between two transactions, somebody comes in and then takes the money and essentially profits off of the difference between the currencies.
Sure.
So we have a lot of arbitrage on all these different levels happening. And where the adjustment comes in is this. Okay. I received, so through my company, I would get a lot of cybersecurity reports and whistleblower reports because as a planetary information security officer, and this is what I'm proposing for a quantum Congress, is to essentially have somebody that says, wait a minute, here's what the math says. We need to make sure that our computers are following mathematics across the board and nobody's doing bad things like they're currently doing. But with this list that I received, it shows about $415 million of Utah taxpayer money, and how our government, our Utah government, specifically our governor, is funneling this money across all of his friends. Every single, and then, I was kind of like, are you sure that this is the way that it's working? And they walked me through step by step, and, we're going to go through this campaign cycle and see where our money is actually going, because you mentioned homelessness, right? Is it drugs? Is it this? I think that we have cures for disease on the precipice. I don't think that we're going to need drugs anymore. We have, homelessness would be like $1 million to solve. 415 is nothing of that. We have 10.
How would you solve homelessness with $1 million? Build a big apartment, or what would you?
Gosh, I mean, we have a surplus of 10,000 homes right now here in Utah that are completely empty while we have people wandering around the streets.
What are those 10,000 homes? Like, who owns them and what were they being?
I mean, they're all over. There's a wide range of them. So some of them are abandoned. Some of them
Like in Park
haven't.
City, they're like vacation houses, or
Yeah. I mean, it could be vacation houses. It could be, it just could be empty homes. It could be apartments that are priced too high for the market.
are you advising? It's okay if you are. You aren't. Are you advising taking those properties and giving them to homeless people?
What I'm saying is that our accounting budget is completely off. And that we now know for a fact with data, evidence, backup, names, people, places, everything. We now have this list that essentially says what people have been doing, where the money has been going, where our taxpayer money has been going, why we have all of this corruption here. And instead of actually taking care of the problem, they're funneling the money off to their little buddies and then thwacking everybody and telling us, oh, it's because, they have drug problems or they have this, but who gave them the drug problems?
Can we talk a little bit about your philosophy on things, just so my listeners can hear it and when I put it up? So, like, when it comes to like nationalizing property, what are your views on that? What are your views on the free market? What are your views on, can the government just come in and take property from, if there's an abandoned house, a person's waiting to sell it, or an apartment complex, they're charging $3,000 and it's half empty, should we come in and make them lower it? Talk to us about that.
Well, you talk about the government a lot, and I don't see government anymore. I see oppressors.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I see oppressors, and if your government is oppressing you, then they're not your government and they're not your friends. They're your oppressors and they're your abusers.
Yeah.
And at some point, you say enough.
Okay.
I mean, this is not a very large group of people. You essentially say you forced us into this small system.
They have the guns and the technology, and since we can't, because we've let the Second Amendment whittle down so much, we can't really fight back. They have drones. They have.
Well, they also got rid of the First Amendment back in April of 2024. They said that the Supreme Court has freedom of. The Supreme Court is who gets to decide whether or not you can say something.
That's ridiculous. It's stupid.
So if you look back at humanity, right? Like if humanity looks back on history, when will they say that the United States ended? Well, this is supposed to be 250 years. Did we actually make it to 250, or did it end when the Supreme Court ruled that we no longer had freedom of speech, our main right?
I think it ended. I mean, first of all, the Constitution has not protected us very well, but a big breaking point, in my opinion, was when the states in the South couldn't break away. Like, they always had the right to break away from the Union, and when they couldn't, the federal government's been really tyrannical since. If Utah could break away right now and be its own country, that's really what we want, and we can trade with other countries. Utah's a donor state. For every dollar we send off, we get 88 cents back. We don't get anything back, and we would be a lot more productive if we didn't have to have the federal government.
Yeah.
There are countries in Europe that are a lot smaller than ours population-wise. We would be just fine. We can still trade with other states. That's the answer, in my opinion, to everything is like decentralize it. Get rid of it, because the bigger government is, the more prone it is for business to take it over every single time. When the bigger government is, the more it does, the more prone it is for business to take it over. So it's like we have to decentralize everything.
Yeah, I used to be a big proponent. If you went through my stuff, I was like the biggest proponent globally. I had a national stage, and I reached millions of people with that decentralization message.
Yes.
And I do want to add like one little thing
Yes.
there. What I just shared about, saying, hey, I don't even know if we have a government anymore. That's not the views of the Forward Party, right?
Yeah,
that's me saying I think about these things at night, and I wonder.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Because if I didn't face what I didn't want to think about, then I wouldn't be able to have thoughts or answers around it.
And they're going to come and they're going to kick us out in like a minute, or like not a minute, but like about 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we don't even have that. But so, talk to me about, why did you sign on with the Forward Party? Did you just need a Forward Party to, obviously, I'm sure that you believe something with this, or did you sort of need to run a party on? Were they like, hey, we like you, we saw you run before, and they were okay with your thought process? Talk to us about how you got involved with the Forward Party.
Well, Blair Walsingham, who created the Forward Party with Andrew Yang, she reached out to me.
Okay.
And we had a conversation. She actually introduced me to Andrew, and I really believe in Blair. If there's anybody that I believe in as a politician, I mean, we haven't talked in a while because, the way of business and stuff, and things happen along the way, but her belief in the Forward Party kept me going, and all those little Forwardists throughout that 4th district race, they pulled me through and they pushed me through, and we ran to the line together. We were all in this together, and we all believed in something, and that was that the way that government is today, it's not the way of everything else. And so there's a lot of great beliefs that are in these pamphlets. I just for specifically the Salt Lake chair guy, his name is Chris. And by the way, we have one elected person currently, Emily Buss, and she's been phenomenal. They call her the most independent voice inside of Utah's politics. And so in supporting and strengthening democracy by expanding voter choice and access, that our elected officials will pledge to act with ethics, integrity, and compassion, and respecting and upholding the rule of law and the U.S. Constitution, that American leadership and values are critical to global security, peace, and prosperity, that non-ideological cross-party collaboration is needed to craft responsible long-term solutions to America's most pressing problems, that a love of individual party matched equally with personal responsibility and civic engagement are the hallmarks of a Forward Party member, and that every person should be treated with dignity. I want to change that to shall be treated with dignity and respect and afforded grace, rights, reasons, and respect. And we have some really great candidates this year. Like we have this gentleman named Colin. Like he's got it. He's kind. He's personable. He listens.
Got it.
So as far as Forward Party goes, it was the United Utah Party. I wanted to bring more people into the cause and merge it. And I'm essentially leading the independent movement, and I've been doing a lot behind the scenes.
Did you do that? Did you help merge that?
I was in the early conversations, and then by the end of the 4th congressional campaign, Brian shot me out of the sky, and that one really hurt. And so I just kind of stopped for a little bit. I just needed to rest and try and recuperate, and then they carried it forward and then kept going. Now, as far as what I would like to see from us leaving here today, okay? At the end of this, when you get into politics, you never leave. So it's kind of like the Hunger Games. I call it the Millennium Games. Okay. When you get into politics, you never leave, Tyler. You're always going to be here. You're always going to be on the stage. You're always going to have a voice. People are always going to look to you. You're going to be a leader. Okay. And there comes a point when you don't stop, right? So at the end of this, I would hope that you would join me in creating the world that we want to see. So I'm managing the product life cycle with me. So as we come through and, have this Congress come through and we figure out the budget and stuff, we're going to need this quantum Congress that comes in and accounts for all variables. And so right here today with you, I actually want to start building that. And when you talk about they, I want it to be us. What do we build here together today?
Well, first of all, I'm just so impressed with your mind, and I really just I watched like a couple of your videos. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched like snippets of each one because I just found out who you were like 3 days ago. So I've been trying to do my homework for this. So I've watched a decent amount of it, and I knew you had a beautiful mind. I was like, I just got to get in her energy wave. And on a side note, I would be remiss if I feel like you should have like 4 kids. I don't care if you have to like donate your eggs. We've got to have you having kids.
Really?
Yes, because the world needs more of you, of your intelligence, of your IQ, of who you are. Like we need more of you. So like I there's no pressure if you don't, and I'm not shaming you for not having. I don't have any kids either. But my point being, you're such a rare person and just a great human. And most, if I can speak frankly, and I don't really care because I'm not politically correct anyway. Most women don't have this kind of mindset. They're not this forward thinking. They're just not. Like I've many female friends. I love people. I have a wide variety of people in my life, and most women are not on your level of conscientiousness. I would say intelligence. Just because I just know because I can match patterns in my brain. And there are smart women out there, but it's usually a man's area to like care about this kind of stuff, and you're so much more locked in. So like when I see you, I'm just like, man, you got to have kids. Like you got to have 3 or 4,
I haven't.
Yeah.
I guess I just haven't found anybody that's
worth
there
having kids
yet.
with. Yeah.
I really want to see humanity rise.
Would you ever do like? And I'm not asking for myself. I'm not. Just so you know, guys.
He's very interested. Everybody.
I'm very interested. I am.
He's very
This is why you're here.
This is
now
why we
you realize,
came.
and now we're
Yes.
Would you ever like do like be on like a site where like you could like co-parent with someone, or like you just had like it was literally just like a test tube baby where like literally you and the person just like raised the baby together?
I don't know.
Okay. I feel like that's the future. I feel like that because honestly, people don't even want to get married or date anymore. I mean, I love people. I'm not of that ilk, but I can see the simplicity of it. And if you knew you could work it out, if you trusted the person as a human, what difference does it make? You can just raise the child together, and like I don't know. I think we're that's just my thoughts on it, but I'll let you.
Yeah, and how about we end there, and maybe we continue the conversation next time.
You're awesome.
All
and
right.
Okay. Let me see what time it is. Let me say this.
So
Yes.
as far as that, I really think
We have 3 minutes. Yeah.
not just think, I observe, I know.
Okay.
So our machines are broken.
Okay.
Our computers are broken, and because our computers are broken, because they're everywhere,
Yes.
they're causing cascades of harm through society. From our financial system, they're using too much energy, which is causing problems, right?
Okay.
When we fix that, you'll see what an abundance of wealth, because we're not going to be wasting our energy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be creating pollution anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also going to essentially, we won't be tampering with our electromagnetic field of the earth anymore at that point. So things will become stable. And when they do, humanity will change. And that's where we're at. And it's not a bad change, it's a calming change. That whole world peace thing that I was telling you about. And that's where we're at.
I have a couple of people who watch this who are very big in the. Can I ask you like 3 questions?
Sure.
Very quick. And just
I'll be
rapid
short
fire?
answers.
Like if you could, what would be your ideal like capital gains tax rate, corporate tax rate, and income tax rate? Like if you could.
Why do
control-
we need those?
Exactly. That's a great answer.
Like
Great answer.
if we have precision energy, you don't have excess waste, so you don't, like I told you that we're billions above this energy stuff, right?
Okay.
So if you get rid of that billions of energy, information energy waste, and you have it all the way down here, right now the technology allows us to be 1.4 above, so like right at the limit.
Okay.
You're not wasting energy, you don't need the taxes, you don't need any of that stuff.
Okay.
Okay? Like that's what quantum Congress is. And what's your next question?
Okay. Here's my next question. What are your views on property rights? Do people own their property? Can the government come in and like want to build a road and take their house down?
I mean, we're first of all, that's rude, right? Let's not do that to people anymore. That's the most terrible thing. I honestly don't think that our cars are going to touch the ground anymore. Why our cars touch the ground makes no sense to me. Okay. Really, where we're going to go is moving these corporations to the people. Like, there's no reason for people to be doing those full-on commutes anymore. That's our actual number one biggest problem, creating all this heat around us. So you move the corporations to the people, get rid of that commute, give people their time back. I mean, it's all virtual anyways. Why are we going into these buildings where the main people are above it? So when we talked about government coming in and taking away your stuff, Here's probably the biggest thing that's changed about me. I don't think humans own the earth anymore.
Okay.
So mitochondria is to cell as humans are to earth. And we all have to figure out how to work this way together. The government shouldn't become like, and when you say government, it's these people that think that they're better than you, coming in, take something away from you. Why is anybody doing that? That causes discontent and anger and war. Don't do that anymore.
Right.
I'm tired of it.
I
So
agree.
so this is an area that I haven't explored the mathematics for yet. I really, when I get to that point, I want to look at it. But right now, I don't think that we are the owners of the earth anymore. Because if we keep doing that, if we keep fractioning it, what do we have left? We just pillage,
Right.
and we waste our wealth.
This is such fascinating. You're awesome.
And did you have
Appreciate
one
your
last
time.
question?
I
May I ask you one?
yeah, yes, please. I'll ask you in 10 seconds because we really,
Yeah. I would love to know why you decided to run for Congress. Why did you put your name in the hat?
Because we have there's a constitutional mandate that the Congress has to be the checks and balances for the executive branch. And Mike Kennedy, who's running in my district, he's voted against taking the right for the war powers. He's voted against taking the ability for Congress to declare war only and not the president. He's voted against that, and he's voted against taking the constitutional mandate, which is Congress's authority to tax via the tariffs. And this is code red. We're living underneath a president who is tyrannical, and now's the time to actually do it. And life is more than just blood and guts, and this is when we have to do it. So for me, it's like, if you're not willing to die for something, why are you even alive? And so we have to have a different voice and an option for people in District 4 who actually value freedom, and not just a Republican and a socialist.
Well, thank you for running in my district, and let's save the Great Salt Lake.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're awesome. And are you in District 4 or no?
District 1.
Okay, well, I'm in District 4, so we're not even running against each other.
No, we're not.
Yeah. We're done, guys. Keep it going. We're done, guys. I don't want to jump off. Hey, we're done. We did pretty good. And, yeah, I'm glad I'm not running against you, actually.
Sorry to turn the light on you.
No, I